Let's change tracks. Let's address the issue at hand. Vedanta is still reeling under a lot of pressure. I just want to bring up the 2-day chart on Vedanta. We may not be able to bring up the 2-day chart, so let's bring up the 7-day performance on Vedanta, because it's been under extreme pressure on account of this developing story of its Tuticorin plant. Rakesh Arora, MD Go India Advisors, joins in to analyze this news development. It's recovered from the day's lows, but there you go, close to about 9% has been the fall for Vedanta. Yesterday was particularly brutal. Rakesh, what do you make of this plant shutdown? How big a setback it is for Vedanta? I mean, I was just going through some analyst notes and they were saying 4 to 5% on earnings.
Yes, more than the earnings. This is the third incidence with this company over the last few years where, their operations have been disrupted. The first one was the Niyamgiri mine, where they have invested almost $6 billion in aluminum smelters, and those assets are still struggling to make any kind of profitability. The second was all the iron ore mines, where though Vedanta didn't have really, particularly to do with it. It was more a pan-India thing given by Supreme Court. And now, a copper smelter which was running for 20 years. So clearly this shows, the company has to do a lot of work on CSR. And, a plant which is a zero discharge plant as per the management, you can't have these kind of problems. Earnings impact is going to be like 5-6% as most of the analysts are saying. But more importantly, investors will be very careful now as to whether this, stock is investable or not. Something else can come up, in some other place. So until and unless the company changes its policies on CSR and does really good work, I think investors will try to avoid this one.
Be a further fall in the stock, purely in terms of the brand damage this incident is done. I believe the company is dragging the Pollution Control Board to court, citing again that this is not really an environmental issue, it's become bigger than that.
Yes, see, company, I don't think there is too much fault with the plant per se, and it should be following all the norms which have been established by Environment and Forest Ministry and the Pollution Control Board. So I don't think there's too much of merit. Obviously, the issue has been politicized. But see, Vedanta comes with a very fragile reputation, and they have to do the extra mile work on CSR to make sure that these kind of things don't happen. And since it has happened twice in the last few years, the reputation is definitely impaired much more than the numbers.
No, and so how do you weigh that in on the stock price, which has lost about close to 10% in the last 7 sessions? How does the perception of Vedanta dwindling in market circles impact the stock from a value point of view?
Okay, so see, if you compare it with its peers like Hindalco, it has been underperforming quite a bit in the recent past, and that underperformance will only continue till the time we see some resolution on this plant, or company comes out with much more improved CSR. And these kind of things take long time. So the underperformance of Vedanta will continue for much longer than the immediate impact that we are seeing today.
Yeah, seems so. Rakesh, thanks very much for joining us and making sense of this news development on Vedanta. As viewers have already observed, it's an 8-9% cut coming in over the last 7 sessions on Vedanta, and this is becoming a bit of a brand issue, a perception issue. Like Rakesh pointed out, the company needs to be seen as doing a lot more in the Department of Corporate Social Responsibility. And I think the matter is now getting a bit politicized, given the adverse turn of events that's happened, where 13 people lost their lives, unfortunately.